Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much for supporting Black Victors. I'm exhorting from the book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse 1 to 28. So King Darius decided to divide the kingdom into 120 provinces. He hired a high official to rule over each province, and he also employed Daniel and two other administrators to supervise the high officials, as well as protecting the king's affairs. Because of Daniel's exceptional qualities and abilities, the king planned to set him over the entire empire. But the other administrators became jealous of Daniel's abilities in managing the government affairs. Because also Daniel was very blameless to the king, Daniel was so faithful, responsible, and trustworthy. So the Babylonian officials had to find a way to destroy him by just contradicting with his spirituality. Beloveds, the devil is always within your reach. The people that you trust and mingle with are the people that will stab you in the back. They will sell you out and bewitch you. Do not expose your blessings to your peers. They will show you their teeth and kill you silently. A witch is a person that you eat with. The devil doesn't have to come far. It's always in your circle. Keep your lips sealed, because your friends, your colleagues, they will get you demoted due to your lack of secrecy and vigilance. Mind you, Daniel supervised these individuals, the officials, gracefully and faithfully and righteously, and yet he was despised. So the administrators and higher officers went to the king so they could get rid of Daniel. They approached the king and told him that we are all in agreement, we administrators, high officers, high officials, advisors, and governors, that you, the king, should implement a law that can't be contradicted or revoked. Beloved, be careful with your surroundings. The devil doesn't come alone when he comes to destroy you. He recruits his peers, his cheerleaders also. That's why the Bible says that when the devil is casted out of you, he comes back with seven other spirits to come and fight you. Just look at the amount of people that went to the king so they can oppose Daniel's position. These individuals encouraged the king to implement a new order for the next 30 days, that no one should pray to any other god but worship the king himself. And whoever worships anything human or divine should be thrown into the den of the lions. Therefore, the king ended up signing the law. Now Daniel heard about the new law. He went home and knelt down and worshipped his God. He prayed to his God three times a day. And coincidentally, the officials went to Daniel's house and found him praying and asking for help from his God. As a result, they went to the king to report Daniel for revoking the king's orders. Hearing this, the king was deeply troubled, and he tried to think of a way to save Daniel. He spent the rest of the day looking at a way to get Daniel out of the predicament. When the devil has a mission to destroy you, he never gives up. In the same evening, the officials went back to King Darius to remind him about Daniel's behavior, about Daniel's revocation of the new order. So at last, the king was forced to get Daniel arrested and thrown into the den of the lions. But the king said to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve so faithfully, rescue you." A heavy stone was brought and put over the mouth of the den. The king sealed and locked the den of the lions with a royal key, so no one could rescue Daniel from the lions. The king returned to his palace, and the very next day in the morning, he went to the lion's den just to go check around to see what was happening. And he called Daniel in an anguished voice. He said, "Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God, whom you serve so faithfully, able to rescue you?" Daniel answered, "Long live King. My God has sent his angels to shut the mouth of the lions so they won't hurt me, because I have been found innocent in his sight. And also, I have not wronged you, your majesty." King Darius touched Daniel the Untouchable, because Jehovah El-Roi rescues the untouchable. Jehovah El-Roi rescues his vessels. King Darius sealed and locked the den of the lions so Daniel wouldn't be rescued. However, the key that was used to lock Daniel in the den of the lions is the same key that Jehovah El-Roi used to lock and seal the mouth of the lions. Mind you, Daniel came out of the lion's den without any wounds and without any scratches, because the God who watches over his people protected him from the lions. Then the king gave an order to arrest the officials together with their families, those officials who had accused Daniel for revoking the new order. The lions leaped on them and tore them apart before they could even hit the floor of the den. Then King Darius wrote to all nations and people of all tongues on the earth, and he said, "Peace and prosperity. I decree that everyone throughout my kingdom should tremble with fear before the King of Daniel, before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God. He will endure forever. His kingdom will never be destroyed, and he will rule without any hesitation. He will rule. His rule will never end. He rescues and saves his people. He performs miraculous signs and wonders in the heavens and the earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions." So Daniel prospered during the reign of King Darius and the reign of King Cyrus of the Persians. King Darius touched Daniel the Untouchable because God has his armor all over him. When Daniel was thrown into the den of the lions, God was there. God had to use the same key that was used to lock up the lion's den, to lock the mouth of the lions. And Daniel sat in the lion's den for the whole night without being touched. That's why I call my God Jehovah El-Roi, the God who hears my prayer, the God who has always inclined to my supplications and my needs. We are victors because we are protected under the armor of Jehovah El-Roi.